Hello everyone, let's jump right into something weird and wonderful. Male snakes have two penises. Yes, two. They're called hemipenes, one on the left, one on the right. They use them one at a time, like alternating tools. Efficient, practical, surprisingly thoughtful. Now, if you ask a biologist why, they'll usually say, natural selection did it. Ah, yes, the classic answer for everything from giraffe necks to peacock feathers to snake schlongs. But here's my problem with that. Saying natural selection did it without further detail isn't actually an answer. It's become a kind of secular god of the gaps. You know what I mean? Religious folks used to say, we don't know how this works, God did it. Now, some scientists say, we don't know how this came about, natural selection did it. Same gap, different deity. Let me be clear, I respect natural selection. It's real, it's powerful, but sometimes we use it as a philosophical duct tape. We slap it on mysteries and say, there, explained. But is it? Let's dig in. Snakes have two independent, fully functional, alternating reproductive organs. Question: how does a random blind mutation-based process arrive at that? What was the halfway point like? Did a snake one day wake up with 1.3 penises and say, this feels evolutionarily promising? Or imagine it this way. If natural selection is supposed to favor simplicity and efficiency, why does it retain this biological backup system? Evolution should have streamlined it, right? Yet snakes kept both. Why? Because in some cases, having a backup increases reproductive success. Fair enough. But that assumes the snake got a complete backup system in the first place. And here's the kicker. Redundancy like this isn't cheap. It costs energy, developmental complexity, genetic coding. In engineering, you only build a backup if you expect failure. And if you expect failure, that implies foresight. But evolution has no foresight. It doesn't plan. It reacts. So how does a blind reactive system end up looking like it's thinking ahead? Maybe it's not just natural selection did it. Maybe that's too easy. Just maybe some systems in nature look designed because they are. Now don't panic. I'm not saying which designer. I'm not pulling out a Bible, a spaceship, or an ancient astronaut theory. I'm just saying some biological features are so coordinated, so efficient, so prepared, they make you stop and wonder. Wait, what are the odds of that happening by chance? And here's the real kicker. We're allowed to ask these questions. Science doesn't say there is no designer. It just says we don't need one to explain this. That's fine. But don't need isn't the same as doesn't exist. Let's not confuse methodological naturalism with metaphysical certainty. So next time someone shrugs and says, natural selection did it, ask them, are you explaining it or just giving it a fancy name and moving on? Because maybe natural selection is only half the story. And maybe, just maybe, some snake somewhere is carrying a signature we haven't decoded yet. That's what intelligent design dares to ask. Not what can't evolution explain, but rather, what parts of nature look more like intention than accident? Because when a creature is born with two perfectly coordinated tools, just in case one breaks, it doesn't scream random. It whispers, maybe someone meant it that way. Thank you.